From Emily Blunt, who lost out on her chance at making it big in the MCU, to Charlie Hunnam, turning down a role in 50 Shades of Grey. There are tons of actors who rejected roles offered to them, only to be upset about it later on. Starting off with Emily Blunt, who turned down the role of Black Widow. It's bad enough that you don't get to star as a main character in what is probably the biggest blockbuster franchise of the past decade. But what makes the experience even more regrettable is the fact that Blunt apparently shot down the role to work on another movie. And get this, it was a film that she didn't even want to be a part of. In an interview with Howard Stern, she revealed that she was working on Gulliver's Travels at the time, and because of scheduling conflicts, she just wasn't able to make time for what could have been the biggest role of her career. Now, don't get me wrong, Gulliver's Travels wasn't that bad of a movie.
You see, we elect a president every 4 years.
You are so honorable and courageous. Were you the president?
In fact, for a kids' film, it was a decently entertaining flick, but comparing it to the role of Black Widow, which would have gotten Emily much more stardom, and even her own feature film later down the line, really makes it clear that this wasn't the best trade-off.
I don't have any choice.
Please, yes, of course you have a choice.
No, you made that choice for me.
You don't understand.
Blunt said that she didn't even want to do Gulliver's Travels, but was contractually obligated to do so.
I actually do want to clean up the story on Gulliver's Travels. I was contracted to do Gulliver's Travels. I didn't want to do Gulliver's Travels. It was a bit of a heartbreaker for me because
the whole situation was a bit of a heartbreaker for her, since she takes a lot of pride in her decisions and the movie just wasn't something she could be proud of. But hey, maybe the MCU will give her another shot, as Susan Storm in the Fantastic Four film. But she's not the only actor to turn down a role only to regret it later on, because there's also Eddie Redmayne, who could have starred in Star Wars. The actor revealed in an interview that he auditioned for the role of Kylo Ren.
Kill it if you have to. That's the only way to become who you're meant to be.
To keep things secretive, they didn't give him the actual lines from the movie, but instead the actor said the lines he got seemed something from Star Trek, or even Pride and Prejudice. Yes, they were that weird. Needless to say, his audition didn't really go well. It's reported that not only did he blow his chances at the audition, but he also didn't want to be typecast as a villain, after already having played one in Jupiter Ascending.
How dare you!
But honestly, I can see why he'd be regretful of that decision. After all, who wouldn't want to be a part of Star Wars? Plus, sometimes actors are handed roles on a silver platter, but still end up rejecting them. At least that's what Charlie Hunnam did. The star was in the running to play Christian Grey, the suave billionaire, who gets into a steamy romance with Anastasia in the film.
I can go. It's fine.
I would like to know more about you.
There's really not much to know about me.
In fact, things were getting pretty official, and he was confirmed for the role. But here's where things took a south turn. The star had scheduling conflicts, so he just had to drop out. And since then, fans have been wondering just why the star didn't change his schedule around to appear in a film that had massive box office potential. Charlie kept mum about the whole issue for quite some time, but eventually opened up about it in an interview in 2015.
Up with you on the carpet. We were really excited that you were going to be Christian Grey.
I was doing my TV show and we ended up doing an extra episode at the end of the season which pushed us back by a couple of weeks.
He basically said that they were still working on the 7th season of Sons of Anarchy at the time. Not to mention, he already told Guillermo del Toro that he'd star as the 4th lead in his gothic romance Crimson Peak. And while joining 50 Shades of Grey would have been really fun, he didn't want to go back on his word to del Toro.
You know, I'd already given Guillermo my words and, you know, it was a tough decision, but, you know,
Charlie mentioned that people were asking him why he didn't leave. After all, del Toro still had 4 months left to recast. But at the end of the day, the two were friends, and he couldn't just abandon him like that. Though, just considering how much of a success the 50 Shades of Grey franchise ended up being, the star definitely does regret his choice a bit. But this next actress on the list was another case of turning down a hit role for an alright film. film. It's none other than Emma Watson, who turned down a role in La La Land. Looks like Stone wasn't the only Emma in the running, because the Harry Potter actress was also being considered for the role. In fact, it's said that she almost got the part, alongside Miles Teller, who was initially offered the role instead of Ryan Gosling. But the actress was busy working on Beauty and the Beast, and because of that, her schedule just wasn't clear enough to appear in La La Land.
There goes the baker with his tray like always. The same old bread and rolls to sell.
Now, the live-action Beauty and the Beast film was alright, but let's be real, it's no La La Land. Watson felt like she just couldn't half-ass a project like that, and so she wanted to give her all to one film. She mentioned that Beauty and the Beast wasn't the kind of movie where she could just parachute in and call it a day. The actress knew she had to put in a lot of work on the film, and so Watson decided it'd be best not to overburden herself with the extra workload, and so she decided to go with Beauty and the Beast. But considering the sheer success of La La Land, she can't help but feel regretful of her choice. A report also mentioned that the actress was raising hell with her agent for not starring in the hit film. But hey, that's show business, right? Though there's another actress that gave up the chance of a lifetime, and that's Jennifer Lawrence, who could have starred in Twilight. The actress revealed that when she first auditioned for the role, she had no idea that the franchise was this popular among its fans. Jennifer thought it'd be just another audition, but the moment that really opened her eyes was when she saw Kristen Stewart as she was walking down the red carpet. Jennifer felt like she probably could have tried harder for her audition in that case. Maybe a little more research on the role would have benefited her greatly, because apparently she just sort of walked into the audition without even having a good idea of what Twilight was. So no surprise that she didn't really make it. That said, the actress has mentioned that despite her regret, she doesn't feel jealous of Kristen for losing out on the role. In some weird way, Jennifer is almost glad she didn't get it, because not only did Kristen end up getting a ton of hate for the films, but Jennifer ended up starring in her very own franchise, The Hunger Games.
Thank you.
Though I'm sure a bit of regret at what could have been is definitely there. Hilariously enough, she almost turned down the role of Katniss too, but her mom was able to talk her into it. And honestly, it's a good thing that she did, because I don't think Jennifer would have been able to get over a regret like that easily. That said, there's one other notable actress that missed out on a role in a very big franchise. I'm talking about Emma Stone. She was apparently in the running for Paul Feig's Ghostbusters remake, but because the actress wanted to focus more on her role in the Amazing Spider-Man films, she turned down the remake.
Did you get expelled?
No, I didn't get expelled. I got community service.
Though she does regret it now because the Ghostbusters franchise is pretty big, and Sony ended up rebooting Spider-Man later on anyway, when Spidey joined the MCU with Homecoming. Oh well, you win some, you lose some. But those are all of the actors who regretted turning down a movie role.